Hi, welcome back to Tammy Beauty Tutorials. So today we're going to go back and do the next look for the Disney inspired looks. That I've been doing those because my cousin's daughter Emma wanted me to do some Disney princess inspired looks. So the next one that we have is Belle, hence the gold shirt, and I tried to do my hair also like Belle when she's wearing her dress, so I hope that is also, you know, hairdo also inspired by Belle and everything. And so today is the inspired makeup to look like Belle. And as I said before, I want to do, to make it not look costumey or anything like that, so that way you could do it like an everyday look, but you could also like kind of amp it up to make it for a costume if you wanted to. So let's start out with, as always, my skincare. I always love to put like moisturizer on before, since I do have really dry skin. I always like to moisturize first before I get started. And I've been using the BareMinerals Butter Drenched, and I just think it has been working out so good for my skin and just really have been moisturizing very good. And then I'm going to use the Orgins Mega Bright, and that is just an under eye cream to help with any dark circles under your eyes or any puffiness that you have. And you just kind of like pat it in and gently, because you don't want to like rub too hard, especially if you have like a lot of bags, or so you just kind of want to pat and gently kind of rub that in. To kind of get rid of those dark circles and bags under your eyes. And I know I've showed this before, but I don't know if you can see the color. It's kind of like a yellowy tint, and that will help with those dark circles, like the purpley tones, and that's what helps get rid of those. And then I'm going to go into primer, and I always use 2 primers, and I know that seems too, kind of extra. You do not have to use 2 primers. I'm just extra. So I've been using the Becca Backlight priming filter, and this is what it looks like on the back of my hand. And then I've also been using the Poreless, the e.l.f. Poreless Primer Putty, and I really like that one too. This one's more hydrating and it also makes your skin more glowy, and that's what I like. But then the Poreless Priming Putty kind of like helps, makes your pores more, like if you have any texture or anything like that, it kind of makes it more smooth and kind of evens out your skin a little bit. And that's what I like about that. So this one kind of helps with like the glowiness and the radiance of your skin, and the other one, the Poreless, kind of helps with your texture and helps just kind of smooth out your skin. And that's why I'm using 2. So kind of the method to my madness, I guess. And this one's also a good, like I've said before, it's kind of a really good dupe for the Tasha Silk Canvas. And so if you really like that one, and because Tasha is really a pretty expensive primer. It's totally worth it for the splurge, like if you have the extra bucks to splurge. But I know right now with the things going on in the world, might not be a good time to splurge on a primer. So this one's only $8, and this one is really good. So, and they do have a hydrating one, and I have it, but I haven't got to it yet. And I'm actually really excited to try that one, but I was trying to get finished this one, and this one, it's a good size. So there's a lot in it, so it's really good size. But I want to use this one up first before I get into this one. So this is the hydrating one, and I feel like this one will be better for my skin since I'm dry skin, and I just can't wait to use it. I'll let you know the difference when I get to it. Alright, so moving on to foundation. Today I'm going to use the Winky Lux, and this is the Fair Tint. It's kind of like a lighter foundation. So I think it's kind of a good one for summer. But it's like a BB cream than a heavy foundation. Winky Lux is kind of an indie brand of makeup, but you know, they started carrying it. You can find it like at Target, and also where I work at Beauty Brands, which that's where I got mine, is at Beauty Brands. And I'm using my It Cosmetics brush. I'm just kind of working that into my skin. This one is a really nice light foundation, like if you don't want like a red heavy coverage, if you just want something light. And it does feel really good on the skin. And then, as always, I always take what's left on the back of my hand, take my Real Technique sponge, just kind of go over everything and just kind of work that into my skin. Just make sure everything looks really good and is nice and even. Alright, so now we're going to do brows. And I'm using the Anastasia Dip Powder in Ebony. Okay, so to kind of just talk about, you know, the movie and Belle. I've always actually, Belle is my favorite princess. Like, for one, she's a brunette. And she loves to read. I love to read. So I've always actually been kind of partial to Belle. I mean, I remember when that movie came out, me and my sister and my cousin, the one that, her daughter, is the one that wanted me to do this, Emma. And we all went and saw it, and we loved it. It was such a good movie. It was one of our, I mean, we could recite the whole thing by heart. I mean, I think I still can sing pretty much all the songs. I can't watch watch it on Disney Plus without singing it. I mean, it's probably a good thing that my boys are really not into those, because they would probably be so annoyed with me by singing all the songs. You know? But it was such a good one. But I did not care for the movie that they made, the live action. It wasn't my favorite live action that Disney has done. I was so excited when they said they were gonna make it, and I was so looking forward to seeing it, and then when I watched it, I was so disappointed. I don't know what about it. I mean, there was things I liked, but then there was things I didn't like. But I guess that's everybody when they take, something from your childhood and change it and turn it and change a little bit of it. So, but I just always thought that was so pretty. And her dress, I think that's like the iconic ball gown in the scene with her and the Beast dancing. Is so pretty. And then when I was in high school, because I did theater a lot, we actually did Beauty and the Beast when I was in high school. My junior year in high school, we didn't do the Disney version of Beauty and the Beast, and I did not get to play Beauty. Another girl, and her name was also Tammy, but not me. She played Beauty, and this is also from Winky Lux, their concealer. And she was Belle, and I played one of her sisters, which was kind of, was kind of different. And my cousin, Melissa, Emma's mom, she played the other sister. So we played sisters, which was kind of fun for us because we were cousins, so we thought that was kind of funny, really. We had a good time with that. So pretty much all of our scenes were together, which we always had a good time acting together and being in scenes together. I went to a very small high school, by the way, in southwestern Kansas. Like, super small. That's why I usually just say southwestern Kansas, because nobody knows where I'm from. So if I say and I also say the town name. So if I say the town, I also have to spell it out because I say it funny. I don't know. Anyway, so me and my cousin, we did theater together, and so we got to be on stage together a lot. And there's one during one of our practices. Melissa, I'm sorry for telling this story. You'll probably kill me later, but it's really funny. So we were standing there getting ready to go out on our cue, and we were standing there, and we were waiting, and I was like kind of behind her on the side of her waiting to go out, and she was in front of me, and it was time to go out, and she turned around, and her nails were really long at the time, and she like, and I'm shorter than her, and she like went like this, and she went right across my face with her hand, and she scratched my cheek like really bad. Like she took a chunk of my face with her. I have no scar, by the way, and it was bleeding. Like I was literally bleeding. And so we had to go out on stage anyway because nobody knew it. So I was like standing there saying all my lines like this, and like blood was running down my face, like it was like coming out of my hand, everything, and we're all like just saying our lines, like yeah, da 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 da, and we had to like dance and stuff, and we're like doing this, trying to do our lines, and I'm like this, and like blood running down my face, and everybody didn't know whether to laugh or like get me help. And finally one of the stage crew comes up and hands me like a paper towel, and they're like it was hilarious, it was so funny. And me and Melissa, like, I think we laugh about it all the time now, but I'm sure she didn't want me to tell everybody on my channel about that. Sorry. Don't be mad. Melissa, I love you. I'll promise I'll tell an embarrassing story about me to make it up to you. Anyway, but it was really funny. But we had such a good time in theater together and doing that show, and that's, I think, the funniest thing that happened when we were doing that. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't the Beauty and the Beast from Disney, which would have been so cool if we got to do that Beauty and the Beast. But I think Disney gets pretty you would have to pay a ton of rights for that. But we did, so it was for children's theater, so we basically get to go around to other schools in the area, like elementary schools, and kind of tour with it. So it was really fun. Maybe it wasn't junior year. I lied. It was my sophomore year because Melissa was a junior and I was a sophomore. So I take it back. It wasn't my junior year. It was sophomore year. My bad. It's been such a long ago since high school. Kind of all runs together. My bad. That's what happens. It was in the 90s. You gotta cut me some slack on that. It was a while. And then I'm trying to think of others. This is how I do my contour. Basically, every time. Like I've said, I really don't do my forehead. If you have a taller forehead, I would do that. And they say another good tip, like I know Kim Kardashian, when she does hers, she does that as a 3. Like this. I have such a small forehead that when I do that, I don't really need to make my forehead smaller, because darker makes things look smaller and light makes things look bigger. So you keep that in mind when you're doing your contour and when you want to make things look bigger and smaller. And then bronzer, when you do your bronzer, that's to warm things up and to give things, because when you put your foundation on, it kind of makes things one-dimensional, and you do contour and bronzer to kind of give things dimension and to warm up your skin. And that's kind of the different, like why you do all that, because you don't want your face to look flat. You want to add dimension back in your face. Because you don't want to look one-dimensional. You want to have as much dimension to your face, but you also want to put the dimension back that you want to your face. That's why they say, plastic surgery without actually having plastic surgery. You can make your nose the way you want it and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to do my eyeshadow. And of course I'm going to use the Fit Me powder on my under eyes. And this is just so that way I can kind of have that line instead of, a lot of people, since I do my foundation before I do my eyeshadow, because a lot of people do their eyeshadows first before foundation. I am doing it. Do my face first, so I don't want to mess up all that work that I did. So this will help catch any fallout, and I can just brush everything away. And then also I kind of carve out that line so I don't have to use tape or anything and mess up my foundation. I thought that was the neatest trick when I learned that, and I actually got that from watching Jaclyn Hill, some of her tutorials, and I've done it ever since because it really works. So if you're a person that likes to do your foundation first, I totally suggest doing that. And I just use my Real Techniques sponge on that, and that's the reason why I like the Real Techniques sponge, because it has that flat edge. But also Morphe has that same sponge like that with a flat edge. I've never gotten the Morphe flat, their sponge. Okay, so I have like 4 palettes in front of me that I am going to dabble with for this look. Don't feel that you have to dabble in all of these to create this look. I just wanted a lot of yellows and browns and golds for this look, and so that is why I have all of these in front of me. And so I will tell you which palette I'm getting into, what color, and so forth. So like I said, you can just pick one that you want to use, but don't feel you have to have all 4 palettes, because that would be a lot. Or if you have all 4 of them, you can totally just use all 4 of them, but don't feel like you have to rush and buy them all, because that would be expensive and totally ridiculous. I'm obviously a little ridiculous with my palettes obsession. Problems. I got problems. Okay, so first shade, I always like to put one shade all over my lip, and I'm going to go into the Dominique Cosmetics Latte 2, and it's Cafe Con Leche, I don't know. I can't talk. And it's this shade right here. I just think that is a pretty shade, and it's basically the color of my skin. So you're really not going to see much change. So it's a really good base shade. But if you were to have a tan, then you would probably see it on your skin. I am really fair, and you do not see it at all. And I just worked out on my whole entire lid. Just gonna grab some clean brushes. I have like a whole box full of clean brushes here. Like to choose from. And you think I can find some brushes, but they're all kind of like piled in here. So sometimes it's hard to find the brush you're looking for. And yes, I need this many brushes. It's nice when you do a lot of makeup because you do need to clean your makeup brushes a lot, especially your eyes, because you don't want to get like eye infections. Okay, so I'm going to start, and this is just an Anastasia brush from one of their palettes. Okay, so I'm going to start out with from Jaclyn Hill Volume 2, and it's this yellow shade right here, and it is called No Joke. And it is just a pretty bright pigmented yellow shade, and this is going to be the first yellow shade I put on. Because we want some yellow. Notice, I think one thing that helps me with blending is like where my hand is on the brush. So when I'm not wanting to, for my first shade, I'm always like at the end of my brush, you know, and I just kind of, and you don't want to like push really hard on your brush. It's not like I'm like this, you know what I mean? I'm like this, back and forth, you know, the windshield wiper, and that really helps smooth everything out. And then I also go back to my first shade, my base shade, and I smooth everything out. And I know that my eye looks, they do take me a long time, and I use a lot of shades because you're building depth, and that's what helps blend everything and helps everything look smooth when you blend and have depth to things. I know it seems extra how many crazy palettes I use, and you're like, oh, you don't need that many. That's nuts. Okay, so now I'm going to go into Tasha Denona in the Sunrise palette, and I'm using this shade, and I cannot pronounce it. And I don't want to mess it up, but it's this pretty golden shade, and I just think it's so pretty. And I just think it would really go good with the look, and I wish I could say it, but I'm afraid that if I say it, I'm going to mix it up. And so look where my hand is changing, because I want this a little more pigmented, and I want it a little, because I'm going right in my crease, but I'm also wanting it a little darker than the first shade. Can you kind of see how the blending? And if you guys want to see more tips on blending or anything, where I really learned how to blend is from watching Jaclyn Hill's tutorials, and that's one of the reasons why I love her so much. And I know that because I feel like watching her videos, I got so much better at makeup. And that just really gave me a lot of inspiration. She actually has a video on blending. If you haven't watched that, you should check that out. Because she could probably teach it better than I. Sorry, I got silent there. I didn't finish my thought better than I could, because, you know, she's just kind of going over the edges. Back to the first shade. I know. Boring. Okay, so now I'm going to go into, I actually want to go in to start kind of building up some richness, and I'm going to kind of go into this kind of brown golden color right here, and it's called G Money, which I love this shade. It's probably one of my favorite shades in her newer palette. I just love the richness to it and the depth it brings. And I changed the brush. It's not as fluffy, and it's kind of tighter and rounded, so you can see. And look how, once again, my position of my hand changed. So I'm a little closer in than I was on the other two. I hope these tips are helping you, because I love when people give me tips when I watch makeup tutorials. That's what I love to watch, is tips. Not just, I mean, reviews are good and reviews are helpful, you know. I mean, I do want to know how things perform before I buy them. But, you know, makeup plays different for other people, when something that works for me doesn't always work for somebody else. And just because, you know, somebody else likes something doesn't mean that you're gonna like something. But I love when somebody gives me tips and teaches me something. I think that's what is so beneficial to me when I am learning is, okay, what can I get better at as an artist? What can I get better at? Okay. Now this brush is also, because I also want to deepen it a little more. And then I'm going to go into the original Jaclyn Hill, because I love these darker, as you can tell, my most used palette. I'm going to deepen it with this second to the last darker shade, and it is called Soda Pop. I just kind of want to put this in the outer V to add some depth to the outer V, you know, to really give it some depth and some richness. And also, like I said, dark makes it, you know, and you don't want to bring darker to the over to the corners unless you're really trying to smoke out a look. I want my eyes to look wide awake and open, so I'm just gonna leave this darker color right here at the corners, and then I'm gonna go back to G Money and just kind of blend this over. That way there's no harsh lines between the two, and then I'll go back to the yellow shades and blend out any harsh lines. That so far I don't see any, but I just like to go over everything to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines. I constantly just go over with the shades, even okay. So now I'm gonna do the shimmer shade, and I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do, I'm thinking, I'm going to do this gold from this one called Coin, but then I'm going to top that one off too. And this was from Armed and Gorgeous. Okay. I'm going to go in with this Talia shade, and I'm going to use my finger because it is so, it just applies a lot better if you use your finger. But it is a beautiful gold. It's so, and the way it feels, I mean, it just feels so buttery and so soft, but it just picks up a lot better if you use your finger. But I think that just kind of blends it all a little better. Go back to Soda Pop just to blend that, because you don't want to lose any richness or anything. Clean that up. Okay, now I'm going to dust all that away. Do the under eyes. Okay, for the under eye. I'm going to go into Soda Pop and I'm going to kind of tight line that. I'm not going to go all the way over because I don't want it to close my eye. I want it to keep my eye looking wide awake. Okay, now I'm going to go into G Money and just kind of blend that. Just clean up. Okay, and now I'm going to go into, I don't want to put too much yellow shade underneath my under eye, but I'm just going to get a little bit of that golden shade from the Denona that I can't say because I don't want to like butcher it, and I know I'm going to say it wrong. But I want to have just a little bit of yellow, but not too much. Okay, now I'm going to go into the color that I used for my base color, and I'm just going to kind of blend everything and make sure there is no harsh lines under here. Now I'm going to go off camera and do my eyeliner and my mascara, and then I'm going to be back to finish everything up. Okay, I put eyeliner on, my mascara, and now we're back to finish up this Belle look. I am so excited. I think the eyes turned out so good. Definitely I'm loving the look. So now on to bronzer, and I'm using the Hoola Benefit bronzer. I just really like this. I know that I've been using it for a while, but it's a really good bronzer. I can see people use it a lot. I just think it's a really good one. I've been really enjoying it. I mean, I can definitely see me purchasing it again, because it was super good. I also want to try like Too Faced matte bronzer. I think that one's definitely on my list of things to try for bronzers. Like the other day I made a whole list of like makeup that I want to try. I mean, you know, we're in quarantine. I have a ton of things to do. like things, just I'm sitting around, hanging out. So I decided to get on Sephora and the Ulta website and Morphe website and just like look at all their makeup. You know, make wish list. So that's what I did. I mean, I don't have the money to buy any of this stuff right now. You know, can't do hair right now, so I might as well make a wish list of all the things that I'm going to buy when I get back to work, right? I mean, it's going to take me forever to save up the money, but I'm going to make a list. You know, goals. We all have goals. Mine just happens to be buy more makeup. Nothing wrong with that, right? Other people have other goals. Mine's to buy makeup and hair products. Hair products. Anyway, so the list is really long, is my point. In my defense, I can get some of it from beauty brands where I work, because I did make a list of things I can get for work and then things I have to get from other places. And this is Nars Organsm blush. You know, I'm not really a fan of it, but I'm trying to use it until I can't, until it's gone. Because I just feel like it was too expensive not to use, and so I'm just using it up. But I was not a fan. And I'm going to use Stila Kitten highlight. I'm actually going to use two highlights, but this one's like cream, so I'm going to use that one first, and I'm just going to use it with my finger. But I feel like I really just want to glow a lot for this. I'm extra. You know, I used how many palettes for this look? Why not use two highlighters? I don't see a problem. I feel like Belle, she would use two highlighter. No, she wouldn't. She was fair. She had, I think that's something she was very, she was beautiful, but didn't have to be. Try to be beautiful, you know. Kind of thing. And that was Champagne Pop by Becca. And now I'm going to use, and then I'm also going to use Moonlight by Jaclyn Hill. And this kind of helps, it's like gives you like that bridal glow, the glow within, which is also kind of a highlight. So actually technically I'm using 3, but this also helps set your face. So technically, yeah, okay. New, so extra. So like, yeah, bridal glow, with that glow within kind of thing. And now I'm going to set my face with Milk Makeup, Translucent Light. And now time for setting spray. Not that one. I'm going to use Milani Make It Dewy. And lipstick. And I'm going to use by Smashbox Bang Bang, and it's a liquid lip. All cream liquid lip. Alright, so this is the finished look. For Belle. I really think it came together. I really love it. I hope you guys like it too. I hope this inspires you to watch Beauty and the Beast today. I hope it came together really good. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Oh, can't talk. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell so you get notified of every video I upload. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.